Hello and welcome to my brutally honest review of Dead Island 2. Hope you like my thumbnail and hopefully you clicked on this video because I got a lot to say. Now, normally I don't talk about video games. I'm not a big, huge video game player. I like playing Fortnite and all the other stuff, but this one just kind of pissed me off. So, there's going to be spoilers. If you have not played this game, I don't know. Like, first and foremost, before I get into my review, um, thank you so much for your support over the years on my channel. It's been really great. I want to get more into more content of reviewing more stuff like video game, well, maybe not video games, but movies and such. But I've been very busy with the Murder She Wrote podcast. Thank you for your support for that. Um, Now, that being said, I have a lot to say about this game. This game apparently was released a little while. It was released in 2023, so it completely went away from under my radar. And how I came across it was free, a free game on my PlayStation Plus thing that I pay for each month. And I like zombie games. And, I really don't understand how we've come to this point where we have like more story driven games. Like instead of just like I want to kill zombies, like I just want to kill zombies. I don't want there to be a complex story as to why. And they had the regular Dead Island was on there. Um I think maybe last year as a bonus game. And I did play it, but it was very hard to get through the missions, and it was very confusing as to exactly what you had to do, and the characters were not all that interesting. So, I mean, I got to a specific mission and I stopped. And I didn't look back, and I didn't know they made a sequel. I had no idea. Until it was on PlayStation Plus, like I said. So it last month, it being Halloween, I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm gonna check out this game. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna play it. It's going to be fun because I like zombies. I've liked movies my whole life, and being able to shoot zombies, fight zombies, it's fun in any game. And mm, I was kind of disappointed. So, for those of you who don't know, there's like, I think maybe seven different characters that you can be. There's Ryan, who I noticed, because like you can choose different characters to be. And at first I chose Ryan because he was the first one that came up. And I was like, okay, sure, I will choose him. Well, when I got to a certain boss fight, he was not very good to get through it, so I got frustrated and started all over again with his character, with a different character, and that was the character of Danny, who was more, I think she's the best character in my opinion. Her and Amy are the best characters. But when you start the game, like from what I understood from the first Dead Island, was the reason why it's called Dead Island is because you are on vacation on an island and there are zombies. And you have to try to get off of the island. And eventually, from what I have done research on the internet, you eventually go on a boat that I guess goes to LA and the story continues from there. Because this game is set in Los Angeles, LA, City of the Stars. Um, and when you start, you get on this plane, you have all these characters that you can choose to play, which is your designated character throughout the entire story. And it doesn't matter, unlike most video games where you can make multiple choices and there are different outcomes, you have to make the same choice every single time and there's no different outcome. And I kind of did not like that. Um, and you start with these with your character. There's a plane crash. You have to get off the plane, find the survivors. You run into an actress um, who's famous in this universe that not a real actress that any of us would know. And she survived the plane crash. She writes her address on your arm, and then they leave. And your character stays behind to basically help the rest of the survivors, and your character gets bit by one of the zombies. But in true typical zombie movie fashion, this person is immune and they don't understand why. So eventually they get bit, they kill the zombies that randomly show up, and then they decide to go to the actress's house through Bel Air, and they go through this random house to get to her house. You kill a bunch of zombies, and it was fun for the most part. You go to her house, they see that you've been infected, they basically handcuff you in the exercising room that she has, and then because a bunch of zombies show up, they let you out so that you can go fight them and close the gates so that no other zombies get in. And then you find out that everybody was evacuated at a local hotel called the Harpin Hotel or something or other. So you go all the way there, and of course, it's overrun by zombies. Everyone is dead, and like this was the moment right here where I wanted to rage quit because like you get to this hotel and you have to like help this major who's like screaming over a loudspeaker, and you think she's talking to you but she's actually not, and you have to like kill all these zombies in a pool where they put all this green goo stuff to like kill them all, and there's a reason why. And it took forever to get through that. Then no matter what character you are, you never get to the major to save her. She ends up dead every single time. And you get the key to the ballroom, and there's a person on a radio saying, "Hey, I'm Dr. Reed. We have shelter for you at the Sterling Hotel in Santa Monica. If there's anybody there, you can come and be with us or whatever." And you go into that ballroom and you respond. You're like, "Yeah, here I am. I'm immune. Actually, I was bit, well, whatever." And here comes Bridezilla, Bride fucking Zilla, Becky, out of nowhere, and you have to fight her. And for the life of me, I could not get Ryan to fight her because when I started over with the character of Danny, I noticed in the first scene, Ryan is not a firefighter. Ryan is a stripper, which I found to be very interesting. And I did not, I mean, nothing against strippers, especially male strippers, because, but um, I just thought that was funny and an interesting detail. And he couldn't not fight Becky. Danny was able to fight Becky. When I got to that point in the story, she was able to get her just like that. And I've continued through the story with her because she's far more interesting and she could jump in the air and kick the zombies. And, you know, after you defeat Becky, you have to go all the way back. And this was another thing I hated. You have to go all the way back to the actress's house and tell her what you found. And then her assistant, Michael, has left the house and gone to his house in Beverly Hills. So you have to go find him. And then you go to his house, kill a bunch of zombies. You have to go next door to his next door neighbors who are high as a kite because, of course, everybody is high in zombie movies. Um, and they don't even know where their freaking daughter is, and apparently she's friends with Michael. So you have to go to some sort of construction site to sort of like get her and figure out where Michael is. She eventually tells you that Michael has gone to some sort of studio in Hollywood, that he's done a lot of work with the actress there. And so you have to go there, kill a bunch of freaking zombies to get to him, only for you to find him in her trailer. And then this big ass like zombie comes and you have to fight him all by yourself. Like, he doesn't come out and help you. And that was an ordeal because you have to like do special effects like fire and water and all this stuff just to kill this big ass zombie. And then after it's all said and done, you go in the trailer and Michael's been bit. But Michael somehow manages, like, what I don't understand is when you are playing as these characters, you are literally encountering zombies everywhere you turn. But these characters are able to get back to the place where you were before you even started with absolutely no problem before you even get back. And it's ridiculous. Not to mention, okay, so after you do all of this, Sam, who is a side character who was in Dead Island, the first one, is immune like your character is, and says, "Hey, let's go to this random house that has a bunch of guns," and a person gets killed, and we get introduced to screaming zombies, which were not my favorite. And you know, I'm wondering, this is a big, vast, open world. When do I get to, have fun and just kill zombies and not have to wait for cut screen and the loading screen and all that? And it never came. And I was kind of frustrated with it. There have been moments where I was frustrated with it because you get you you get guns at this house and you fight all these people. You go back to the actress's house and Michael turns into a zombie and your character kills him, and then the actress kicks you out. And Sam tells you, you shouldn't go. And, you know, because Sam says, like, your character shouldn't go because you don't want you don't want to be a guinea pig. And of course, spoiler, he's right. 100% he's right. So you just leave the actress's house. You go under the freaking sewers in LA to get to Venice Beach, which is, or I think Venice Beach, no, which is Santa Monica, okay, to go to the Sterling Hotel. You kill a bunch of freaking zombies in this shopping mall hotel place. You go upstairs, you meet Dr. Reed, who says, okay, so you are immune. Um, you, I need blood samples for the FCC and all of this. He says you should go and get some rest, and your character does. And then you wake up and he's not there. And then one of the random people says to you, hey, this guy Bob went down to the parking garage because our water is messed up. Can you go find him? Nobody does anything in this damn game but your character, and that pissed me off too. So you go on this big ass mission that takes forever to find where this dude is, only to find out that he is a zombie. And then you have to kill him, and he's an electrocution type of like zombie. And you kill him, and then you fix the water, and you go back upstairs, and you tell the person, sorry, Bob's dead, but you have water now. And Dr. Reed comes back, and he says that the military is in charge and they need proof that your character is immune from this particular whatever it is. So he tells you to basically go to Venice Beach, aka the Santa Monica Pier, and basically test your blood by putting your hand in like a machine, and then bring it back to him. Okay? So you now have to leave the comfort of the Sterling Hotel and you have to travel all the way to this other place to do all of this shit. You get to Venice Beach, you meet these three men who are like hiding out in like what looks like a restaurant, and and they're of course as well. And there's one that's like saying he doesn't believe that the zombies are out there, and randomly a zombie comes from behind and grabs his head through a window that just has wood on it. And then this random like bodybuilder dude says that his friends who also like to work out is stalking him. So then you go on this weird ass mission where you have to find his gym buddies, and that took fucking forever. And then you finally go there and there's this disgusting cutscene where this fanatic who lives in the sewer systems, you meet him before, and when you're in the sewers killing the zombies, he ends up saving you, and he's a big huge fan of the actress that you happen to know whose house you just came from. And um there also was a side mission that I really enjoyed doing, and it really pissed me off that there was no follow up to that. Like literally next door to the actress, you hear this dude asking for help on an intercom. You end up going there, and he wants you to help him save a woman who gets eaten by a zombie. You basically clear his whole entire house for him, and is able for him to get downstairs in his wheelchair. And he says he's going to go over to the actress's house, but there's no mention of him ever again. So it kind of pissed me off that I did all that and didn't get to see him again. But anyway, so you you meet this dude when you go looking for the gym rats that you met in the sewer, and he's like he has his hand inside one of the gym rats, dude, and he's like taking out his heart and then puts it on a table and is like, look at this. And I'm like, what the hell? Why is this necessary? And it's not. At least it's not to me. I mean, I didn't get it. So then you go and you find the other gym rat, and you eventually kill him, and you go back and you tell the dudes about it, and then they send you to go get guns at the local police station. Only nothing ever came of that mission. I ended up not going there because then I had accidentally joined like a public thing, and I guess the people who were playing with me online went and did that, and I passed that mission without me having to do anything. So then the next thing I was told to do when I was playing it by myself was to go to, I don't know, the safe zone or something they had on the beach. That took forever to get through. You eventually get through that. You go to the place where they treated all the patients with this zombie outbreak, and you eventually have to go through a bunch of crap before you put your character's arm through a thing for them to get a blood sample. But then that's not enough. Then you have to find this blood drive pad thing at the lifeguard HQ, which took forever to get past. Only to find out you do all of this, only to find out that the dude and the thing that you're looking for is not even at the place they sent you. Um, you then find that the dude, Bundy, that's his name, has left the lifeguard HQ, and you now have to go find him. He happens to be not that far away, literally across from the lifeguard HQ, literally right there. not that far from the pier, and you have to fight him, but he's turned into this horrible, like, spitting green stuff zombie, and it took forever to kill his ass. But eventually you kill him. You also, when you're in the sewers, which was gross, which was the grossest part, was that they killed people and they dumped their remains in the sewer with this green stuff, and apparently it mutated. And you are crossing this bridge, and this woman comes, and she basically says, "I'm going to show you who you are," and pushes you off the bridge into a horde of zombies. And you basically push two buttons, and suddenly you have fury, and you're a zombie yourself, and you're like, which was really cool, but not euthanized enough. So then, um, after you kill Bundy, you go through this amusement park, you turn on a bunch of things, you have to kill a bunch of zombies to get through that, to get to the other side. You get to the other side and you decide you're going to ride the Ferris wheel to get to the other side of the pier. And that took forever. There was a bunch of fucking zombies you had to kill, but it was so fun. And then you get into the Ferris wheel, and suddenly there's a fucking killer clown zombie. And I don't really like clowns, so I was kind of freaked out. And then this was another point where I was going to quit because after this, you go to the other side, you have to go onto the broken pier, make your way there. Eventually, you come across this blood drive. And even though your character has been running around getting attacked by zombies, you know, like the whole entire game, your character stops, picks up the blood drive thing, which is basically a laptop, and starts like working on it right there, giving the fucking zombie, um, zombie killer clown a chance to jump down the fucking pier and start attacking you, which, you know, it took me 4 or 5 times to kill this dude, and what ended up doing it was I accidentally fell off of the pier, and he died when I fell off, even though I died too. So we then have to go all the way back to the Sterling Hotel to give Dr. Reed that, and we see that woman who pushed us off of the freaking bridge in the sewers, and we think, something's up with that. And then Dr. Reed says his daughter's missing, so he sends us to go and get her. And there's like a connection. This woman owned a tech company, and she's like sort of this multi billionaire woman. And Dr. Reed's daughter has her doubts about him. And eventually we find out that he had he has a secret lab in not that far from the hotel, and that there is a test subject in there named Noah. And when we turn on the machine, which I would not have done if this was real life, um, he turns into some morphed hella zombie, and it took forever to kill him. And then we find out that Dr. Reed orchestrated this whole entire zombie outbreak due to some crazy ass thing that just makes no sense. And what finally made me quit this game was after that, like, to defeat the to defeat Noah, you have to like do your fury and you turn into a zombie. Dr. Reed's daughter comes in and sees you as a zombie and tries to freaking kill you. And then that random woman with two other random people come and basically tell you you're a normie, which is some fancy word for like a zombie and normal person, the two together. And like, of course, the character at this point is pissed, and rightfully so, and goes back to the hotel only to see Dr. Reed get in a helicopter and fucking fly away. And so you go back into the Sterling Hotel, and you are like shocked and dismayed, and you don't know what happens to the people in the hotel. Don't know if they survive, um, or not, because we don't know. And your character calls Emma back because at one point she does radio you, and she says, that's the actress. She's like, um, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for you to actually leave. And so the character that you play as calls her and says, "Hey, I know this recluse dude who lives in the sewers who's like a big, huge fan of yours. If you convince him, like, I know there's a helicopter in Hollywood, and maybe he can fly it for us if you convince him. He's in the sewer, not that far from your house." And for some reason, the actress goes, and then you now have like a big map where you can fast travel, so you can fast travel back to her house. And the maid kicks her out and is basically like, hey, this is my house now, which was hilarious. And she's waiting for you at the sewers. Well, she's already gone in, but yet there's a dude who blows fire, and it took forever to get past him. Then finally catch up to her, and Sam, who's also with her, and the fanatic, I just call him fanatic, I don't remember his name, is like, yeah, sure, I guess I'll do the whole plane thing. And they go, and eventually they're going into this like train car, and the character that you're playing, gets separated from them, and you have to find like a way around, and you get stuck in this room where there's abundance of fucking fire, and you have to like crank stuff and move stuff and do it. It took me all day to get past that. And then you have to navigate through a series of tunnels to get out of the subway system to meet back up with Emma and Sam. And I don't understand how the hell they got through all of this. And it was like I was almost to the end, and then they had that big damn zombie like Noah was, and all these zombies coming, and it was like too much, and I couldn't get past it. So I raged quit. So then I went online to see how this game ends, and it ends stupidly. So eventually, your character meets up with the actress and Sam. They get out of the subway system, and they get to Hollywood, and they find the chopper. But the fanatic says, oh, the heroes don't run away in the movies, they stay and they fight. So the character you're playing as, no matter which one, is like, sure, okay, I'm gonna go find Dr. Reed. Eventually, you walk the red carpet, you go into whatever building, I think it's the Chinese theater, I'm not entirely sure. You go into this building, you end up going through this like de-aging thing, and you find a secret lab behind a shelf. And Dr. Reed and his daughter is there, and she has her arm in a machine giving him a sample of her blood. And he basically reveals that he orchestrated the whole entire thing because he says that there is some sort of clock in all of us, and that we weren't all built to last. And so he wanted to make us immortal or some shit. And it all went wrong. So he pretty much created zombies. Okay. And oh yeah, and he had his daughter, the one, that he had you try to go save, is the cure. And he's been experimenting on her whole entire life. Can you believe that? And then after finding all this out, you have to fight the hybrid zombified Mr. Reed, Dr. Reed. Once you defeat him, you lose his daughter in the struggle, in the fight, and then you go out to the helicopter, you give the cure to Sam, who's almost about to die, and your character basically stays there to fight, to go save Dr. Reed's daughter. And that's where it ends. Now, they've added a thing called Neighborhood Watch, where you can do little mini missions where you can go kill zombies and defend your own little house. But they haven't continued the story. And as far as I know, there's not going to be a Dead Island 3. But I stopped playing when I got stuck in the subway. I mean, I wanted to like this game. I really did. Because, like I said, I like zombie games. And I don't really like games where there's a bunch of missions. I mean, literally, when I was growing up, my dad got us Grand Theft Auto Vice City. And we didn't play any of the missions. We blew up cars and ran over people, and it was fun. It's not something we would do in real life. And, I mean, I don't like where there's like a mini movie going on as you're playing the game. I want to like as I got to the subway station, I was able to like jump in the air and kick zombies, and they would get set on fire, and I just wanted to have fun with that. I didn't wanna do the missions. I wanted to do my own thing. I mean, this world is vast. You should be able to go and do whatever you want. I mean, like they did with Grand Theft Auto 5, like they did with Red Redemption 2. You should be able to explore this whole entire world and kill as many fucking zombies as you want, but you're restricted on what you can and cannot do. And I don't like the story. I don't like the story at all because it just seems like a hopeless story. And it's like, I don't see how anyone could create a zombie when they have basically said that it is not scientifically possible for zombies to exist. So I mean, but it was fun to hit them with like axes and a bat that had fire on it. And there were some things, but honestly, I wanted there to be more gameplay. And I was tired of dying so easily. Like I would try to duck. Like, oh my god. And with Bridezilla, like that one almost broke me because of the stupid song they were playing. It was a sad wedding, very sad wedding. And it's a real song too, I looked it up. And it took forever to kill her. Like, I thought, I'm not going to be able to get through this, you know? And for almost the whole month of October and like until now, I've been obsessed with this game. Like, I would get further and further, like, than I thought I would be able to get before. But then when I got into the subway and it was like I would get done with like this bunch of zombies, and then suddenly around the corner, here comes big, bad, even worse than before. And meanwhile, Emma's like, "Oh, we're picking up the pace. Everything's fine. How are you?" And I'm like, "How the hell is it that you guys are further ahead of me and I still have not reached where you are?" And it kind of pissed me off. And I sort of raged quit. Because, I mean, I don't understand why it's designed that way. And it's like when you play a zombie game, all you want to do is just kill zombies. You don't need a story. You don't need to be a reason. Like I remember downloading one of the Call of Duties, and there was just like a thing like where you would go online and just kill zombies. And they did that on Grand Theft Auto 5 this in October on the game. There was no reason. You just went to a random cemetery with snow. I don't know why there was snow. And you just killed zombies that just randomly materialized. You just shot them. And you did wave after wave after wave. And eventually you would die because, they get worse and worse as they go along. But you're just shooting them. You don't know why anybody is zombies, and you don't really care. I mean, you had an opportunity here. You had a bigger environment for players to go to. And I mean, there's zombies everywhere. They could have just, um, you know, they could have, you could have just let the players just play in this open world and have fun. Instead, they have to follow these missions where they have to follow a specific way to do it, and you can't do it any other way. It's like you don't want to push the button on the machine to have the crazy Noah dude morph into a mega zombie that takes forever. You don't want to sit there and be like, well, looks okay, looks fine. I'm going to get on here even though a bunch of freaking zombies are after me. I'm just going to take this time to like open this laptop to make sure it works. Or, you know, just all the things that you have to do. Like, there's no other way to go. So you have to go into that room that has all the fire and like I had to go and look at videos online for some of these things to figure out exactly how to do it, which back in the day we did not have that option. Um I mean, I liked the weapons. I liked kicking the zombies. It was fun. I liked setting them on fire. It was fun, you know. And I might play some of the neighborhood watch stuff, but I don't want to continue the story if that's the direction it's going to go in. And apparently, once you finish the whole entire story, you get to have free play, but I'd much rather not because it takes forever to get there. And yeah, they give you better weapons as you go along, but it's like sometimes if you have to use those weapons too much, they break, and you have to go around and find these things called workbenches, which is not always around. Also, you have to pick up health kits and basically continue doing this to yourself, putting it in your arm or whatever, so you can continue to fight the zombies. And sometimes you don't have a lot of med kits around to be able to do that. So you die just like that multiple times when you're trying to get it done and you can't go anywhere else. You have to finish that mission. If you don't, you can't continue in the game. And that's kind of ridiculous, in my opinion. And then if you play a game online with people, they might put you somewhere in the story that you've already passed. And you're kind of helping this person with their story, which puts you behind in yours, depending on, if you're almost at the end, you might be somewhere in the beginning of the story in an online game. And then there's the neighborhood watch where there's like three primary missions, and it's kind of hard to do any of them because the zombies, attack you every time you go outside and every time you try to do something. And it only gives you like three tries, and then you have to start all over again. So it's like, I don't know, you know, if they have any plans to make a Dead Island 3, if there was more play to where I didn't have to do any stupid missions all the time and have abundance of cutscenes, which, good on whoever was like the voice actors in this because they did a phenomenal job as their characters. They were voiced by um, Bruno, who is a hustler, was voiced by Jay Ritcon. The mechanic Carla was voiced by Carolina Ravassa. Retail worker Danny, my favorite character, was voiced by Michelle Fox. Firefighter turned stripper Ryan was played by Roman Summers. Athlete Amy Sky Bennett, and stuntman Jakey Ozzy Monroe. Um, they played their roles to perfection, in my opinion. Um, they're I don't know if they're going to do, and apparently, um, part 3 is already in development. But like I said, I think honestly, and I don't know if this is going to go to any of the creators, if anyone's going to see this who's developing this game. I want to say, you know, you did fantastic on the design of the zombies, on the gameplay and everything, but it's like too many cutscenes, too much story, and I don't like that really in my video games. I want to play them. If I wanted to watch a zombie movie, I would watch a zombie movie. I don't need a bunch of like cutscenes. And I think for like a vast improvement for number 3, it should be an open world where you can do whatever the hell you want. Like you can either do free reign where you don't have to follow any missions, you can just do whatever, and that could be a gaming mode, and it might be one on two, and I just haven't seen it. But I don't think so. Currently, the only free mode they have is Neighborhood Watch, and like I said, there's not much you can do with that. So, like I said, I think part 3 should totally be where you can go in the open world. You have the option to either go into the world and follow the story, or just go and just kill zombies and not care about the story. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do want to know what happens next, but I don't want to have to go through mission after mission after mission to find out, because it was excruciating to get through some of those missions. And I get it. It's supposed to be challenging, but it doesn't need to be that challenging. I mean, you don't need to go from trying to figure out how to get out of a room full of fire just to be ambushed by zombies immediately when you get out. It's kind of annoying. Really and truly, it is. Um, so for, I guess for a rating system, I would give this a 6 out of 10. And the reason why I want to give it that is because if I had been able to play more freely and choose which missions I wanted to do and which ones I didn't, I think I would have had more time. It's a very stressful game because you are constantly trying to fight people, and most of the time, depending on what weapons you have, it's very hard to fight them. And some characters really get into the fight and really get things done, while other characters like Danny gets in there, kicks the zombies' asses, and has like hilarious dialogue. Ryan is kind of a bland sort of character, as he is pretending to be a firefighter. He's not really a firefighter. That was his stripper persona. Don't know exactly what he does other than being a stripper. Again, nothing wrong with that, but his character can't do that much. At least he couldn't kill the zombie bride. And I thought that it was ridiculous that you go through all of that stuff just to go back to the actress's house. Then you have to find Michael. I mean, honestly, if I was in a zombie apocalypse and somebody told me to leave their house, go to the place where everybody was evacuated, I find um, it overrun by zombies, and this doctor is telling me, hey, you know, you can come here. We have a safe space for you. And I go all the way back to this actress's house and I tell her everything. And she's like, well, I'm not going to go without Michael, my assistant. And he's all the way in Beverly Hills. I'd be like, peace out. I ain't fucking going to Beverly Hills to get him for you. You either leave this house right now or you can take your chances on your own. Because there's no way that I would go through all that shit that I went through at that hotel just to go try to get Michael, for him to then turn into a zombie that I have to kill. Like, I hated that. Absolutely hated that. I was like, what the fuck? And the killer zombie clown. Why the hell do you all have to have a killer zombie clown? We didn't need that. He wasn't part of the story. He was just there. He didn't need to be there. That's why you're getting a 6 out of 10. Because the gameplay is great, but I don't want to be bombarded by cutscenes and I don't want to be bombarded by a freaking complicated story that I have to sit there and think about. You know? I want to just kill zombies and have some fun. I don't want to care how they became a zombie or who they were before. You know, I'm in a vast, I should be allowed to be in like a vast open world and just kill fucking zombies and not have to, not have to do it over and over and over again to pass the mission so that I can go to the next thing and then get stuck on that over and over and over again before I can move on to the next thing. I mean, I like games like that. I don't remember, games used to be so much fun. You didn't have to worry about missions. You just had free reign to do whatever you wanted. That's what was so cool about the Harry Potter games that they, they're not going to release on PlayStation again or PC. They're like outdated and you can't play them. And they were so fun. They were the coolest Harry Potter games. I mean, the PC games in general were so cool. And it did show up. Dead Island 2 is on the Xbox um, Pass, which you can play on your computer. But honestly, like going from playing it on the PlayStation to playing it on the computer, it was kind of hard for me, you know? And I haven't played like a lot of PC games on the computer in a long time because I'm recording this on my computer and this is my new computer that I'm making payments on through errands. And, I don't want to overwhelm it with too much games and stuff like that. So I tried and it just wasn't working out. So I was like, okay, nope. Um, but it was cool that it was on there. That much, I want to say. And for the most part, I did like it. I wanted to like it more, but I just didn't. If there was some more sophisticated gameplay, then, if there was some more free play gameplay, free reign, where I could be like, okay, yes, I know I have to go to this other hotel, but can I just kill some zombies for a while before I have to go to the next mission? No, you have to go and you have to do this. Otherwise, you can't go this way or you can't go that way. And if you go that way, you might start another mission that you're not supposed to start until you finish the first one. And so it's a little annoying, you know? But if you love zombie games and you like story driven video games, all of you out there might like it. And of course, there's a lot of people on YouTube that's already played it. There are multiple videos that I had to watch to understand how to get past the Bridezilla, the lifeguard thing, the room with the fire, um, and even the big ass zombie Noah. Um, had to figure all that out, and and other people have rage quit this game as well because of the ridiculousness of the missions, because they have the same opinion as me. Like, they don't want missions. They want to be able to just kill some fucking zombies because, sometimes you want to. I mean, most of the time on Fortnite, if you ask like 90% of the players are going to be like, yeah, we don't know the storyline. I don't know the freaking storyline of Fortnite. I just like getting on there and shooting people. I would not do that in real life. It's a stress reliever. It's fun. Me and my best friend Jennifer do it all the time. And it relieves the stress in our life. It fills the void and helps us to get out of our head. And this game will definitely get you out of your head. This game will make you sit there and think a little bit about, about things, about how to do stuff. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. of my brutally honest review of Dead Island 2. Tell me in the comments below if you liked this game, and maybe I'll talk about more movies and TV shows down the line. Thank you so much for your support over the years. Thanks so much for watching.